Hello everybody, it's Dana. Happy Saturday. Okay, and as promised, we are back and ready to do the journal toppers. I guess they call them journal toppers now, so the year that I've kind of been away from crafting, which is basically just a piece that goes on the front cover of your journal cover to decorate it. So, of course, we have our 5 fall journal covers that we need to make 5. We need to decorate 5 different ones. So what I did was I was inspired by Natasha over at Treasure Books, and I'm gonna link her video in the description box. She did, it was earlier this week, a video with a collage formula of what she used to make these pieces that definitely could have been used as journal toppers. And she used the same formula for all of them, but they all looked different because she used different elements for each one. So I thought, since there were 5 of them that need to be done, instead of sitting down with each individual cover, trying to figure out what I want to do with it, and as you know, that can cause a lot of, for some people, anxiety. For me, it does cause a little bit of anxiety to just sit and look at a blank thing and go, what do I want to do? And then to do that 5 different times and just come up with an original idea for 5 different journal covers, I'm going to use her formula and make all 5 at once, and they will all look different. So let me tell you the elements that we are going to be using. So the first thing is I have a base. My journal covers measure 9 by 6, and so my bases are 4.5 by 5.5 because I felt like that was a good size for the base, and it still leaves enough room around where you can see the pretty fabric. So I chose 5 different bases that I felt, and in colors that I felt would go with each journal cover. Then I have just this, this is packaging. It comes like in packaging. I save mine because it's good for all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna use that, and I've kind of crinkled it a little just to give it some texture. We've got book page is another, the third element is book page, and I have this beautiful, I was so excited to receive it this week. I finally convinced myself to order a package from Roxy Creations and her antique Italian book pages. And so I've been dying to use them, so I have that I'm gonna use for my book page. So we have a base, we have our brown paper, our book page, then the 4th thing is a some kind of plain paper. So I've just chosen from some of my scraps just some plainer papers to layer in. And then we have something pretty, like pretty paper. I've got some doilies that I might use. And then I have to the side all my scraps and cutoffs from these. So we might use some of those too. And then the last thing you're gonna need is a focal point for each journal cover. So I've fussy cut some stuff. I found stuff in my stash. And this was actually in my package from Roxy Creations from Italy, because I got a fabric bundle too from her. So beautiful. And this was at the top of the fabric bundle, and so I thought that's perfect for a focal point on one of my fall journals, so I'm going to use that. So I've got my focal points here. All right, so I'm going to kind of move everything to the side, and we're going to get started. And of course, I'm going to be inking the layers, but I'll do that after we kind of have the collages together. And I think what I want to do, I think I'm going to round my corners. Let me grab my corner rounder here. I'm just going to, and you know me, I don't really have a pause function, for use on my phone, and I'm just using my little 1/4 inch quarter rounder, the 1/4 inch side. So, you know me, you're gonna see every single painstaking step, even if it's boring. I'm so sorry. All right. All right, there we go. And then I also have embellishments off to the side. Once we get our collage pieces down, I've got washi tape, I've got gems, I've got ribbon, I've got all kinds of stuff if we feel like it needs anything. Okay, so I'm gonna lay these out to where you guys can see everything, push all this stuff to the side, and we're gonna kind of work on these all at once. So the first thing we're gonna do is take our brown paper, and I want it to be, and I'm just gonna be tearing as best I can. This one needs the edge kind of torn off a little bit. And how the shape lands is how the shape lands, unless it's something really weird looking. And we want that to cover a good part of our base. This is just a little too wide, but I really like that real jagged edge there, so I'm going to take off from this side here. So we want to make that fit just like that. This might be a little small, but I think that'll be okay on the green because there's like print and stuff on the green right here. So we're going to leave that there. Tear this one. And if I need to grab a little more paper, I will. Let's get rid of this straight edge. Go about right here. I'll take just a little off the edge, make that fit. Okay, so we have that. This is kind of an odd shape, but it's still gonna work. Just need to take a little bit off the bottom here. Maybe a little off the side. Okay, so we have that. And one more. Let's just make this work. There we go. Okay, so next is going to be our book page. So let me kind of choose. This looks pretty good. Kind of choose a strip of book page. I save these wider strips because they're great to stamp words or little images on. Just going to get the words off. That's what I'm looking for. And I don't want to use my tear ruler because I don't want too straight of lines. Okay, so actually that's kind of a perfect fit right here. So we'll leave that, and we'll do the same thing here. I was excited when I saw her video. The first thing I thought of was my fall journals because there's so many of them. And I thought, oh, that's going to be a way for me to get all of them done at once. And they're still going to look really beautiful. So I was excited about that. Okay, so we have that. Gotta use this side of this one. This one's got a couple of different kinds of fonts on it, so that ought to be pretty. And if we get our other elements on and these book pages seem like they're too big, you know, you just don't glue anything down right away. So if they need to be a little smaller, I'll pick everything up and cut them down a little smaller. But we'll start with this. This is how we'll start. I think that might need to be a little bit smaller, and I can tell that already. So I'm just gonna take that down a little bit. Yeah, that's much better. Excuse my dogs. Sammy? I don't think there's going to be enough writing on this, so let me choose another couple of pages here. Let's see. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, that one will work. So we'll use this one. Put this one back. That's really pretty. Let's use that one. All right. Oh, these are so beautiful. Do you see all the staining? I don't know if she coffee dyed them or they're so beautiful. I feel so happy that I finally bit the bullet. The only thing that had kept me from ordering from her was the fact that, you know, because it is Italy, you know, the shipping wasn't cheap. But it wasn't too bad, but that's what kind of had kept me from ordering for so long. And I thought, I want some of those book pages, and I thought, well, since I'm already having something shipped, I'm gonna go ahead and order some of her fabrics too, because I wanted some fabric bundles from Italy. So, and they're really beautiful, and I have one picked out that I might use in one of these collage pieces that we're doing. All right. Get this finished here, and then we'll move on. All right. Okay, that is already looking really nice. Okay. So the next thing she says is like some pretty paper. Okay, so I picked out some doilies to see how they would look. I also, this is the fabric I picked out, and I was thinking for the blue fall one, I was really thinking about using some of this on there. So let's see how that looks. I just thought this was so beautiful looking. When I found it in the package, the first thing I thought of was my little blue fall journal. Snipping off some of those threads in the corner. So let's see. I think I want to layer that between the brown paper and the book page. And I may cut that down. Can you see all of that? Yeah, I may cut that down. But I'm just getting all of the elements on, and then we can fiddle with it after. Okay. Now I'm probably gonna go, let's see here. I'm thinking a coffee dyed doily would look better, especially on these cream ones. So let's see how that looks. And it's looking kind of in neutral right now, but that's okay. Because, you know, like one of these, like this cream one's gonna sit on top of here. So if the base of it looks fairly neutral, what we'll do is with our embellishments, we'll add some color and it'll be fine. So I'm thinking we'll go ahead and do the same thing over here for this cream one here. And then I've got a white one. Here. And then I've got this little kind of piece of one here. And I'm thinking I don't like this straight edge. So let's tear that a little. And see how we can, yeah, and I think maybe we'll just actually leave it just like that, kind of hanging off the top and bottom and on top of the book page. I think that's really pretty. Okay, now the plain paper. I have a couple of different things. I have yellow. I think I'm gonna put the yellow on the black because this is gonna be the black one I picked out for this one here, which has black in it. So, and also has yellow. So I think I'm gonna use my yellow plain paper on that one. And I'm not sure I want it this big, so I'm gonna just tear it down just to see how it looks. And take those straight edges off. We're gonna ink these, so I'm not really worried about if there's any white core showing. Of course, I could be tearing it the right way. That would make a big difference. And just for texture's sake, I think I'll leave one straight edge just because all these edges are torn. We're just gonna put this kind of right here. I think maybe with the torn bits this way. All right. Now we can use the other, so this is Sunflower Blue Journal. This is Blue Leaves. That's the red one. So one of these, I'll put these two are gonna be for the Sunflower Journals down here. That's what I'll do. Because what I did, I have certain focal points for those that I have in mind. And what I did was I took the paper pack for that sunflower one and I fussy cut some of the sunflowers out for the focal points. So let's go ahead and maybe do this for that one. Okay, and then I have this one, which I thought would be really pretty on the green one because it's got the kind of berries or whatever. And then it's got like lined. Okay, you might leave the bottom straight on that one. We'll just kind of place this right here for now. Okay, and then I have these two, and this is just some coffee dyed lined like notebook paper, but it has this really cool texture on it, if you can see that. And it's kind of green because the lines kind of mixed in with the coffee when I was dyeing it. And so I thought that was a really cool texture and color for plain paper. So we're gonna use that. I'm gonna tear off some bits that don't have the holes on them. Again, don't be afraid that this one's looking really neutral because it's not gonna stay that way. Kind of lean this kind of this way. Okay. And the last one, oh, this one's gonna look really pretty on here. I really am liking this one with the fabric. I think it needs to be a little bit shorter right here. Okay. All right, so that's our plain bits. That's our 4 different elements. We have our base, our brown paper, our pretty paper, which is this fabric and the doilies, and then we have our book page and our plain. Okay, now for focal points. Okay, so I wanted the squirrel. I'm thinking I'm gonna put the squirrel on the blue. Now, the thing with a focal point that you have to remember, and Natasha goes over this in her video, is you don't want the focal point to be slap dab in the middle. I mean, you can do it that way. It's just less interesting for the eye if you do that. So I'm gonna put it up and kind of off to the side. If you kind of think about the middle square here of the middle part of your piece, you're gonna put it up toward kind of one of the corners of that middle square. Okay, so let's do our sunflower ones first because I know the pieces that I have for that. So I fussy cut these images out of the paper pad for the sunflowers, and I'm thinking this one here. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, I'm so happy with how these are turning out. And then I've got these for this one. And then I've got a little leaf here, which I think is gonna look good, kind of like that. Oh, pretty. I'm happy with that. Okay, and then this one is for this cover. And I'm thinking I have this little kind of scarecrow kind of fall image here. That would be cute on there. And then I've got our little fox friend here for this one. All right, so those are our 5 elements, and as you can see, they look really good just how they are, but they need some embellishment. But before I embellish them, I'm going to ink everything and then glue everything down. And like I said, I'm sorry, this is going to be a little bit boring, but I don't have a pause function, and we can sit and chat while I do that. Oh, so let's just set these kind of off a little bit. I'm going to grab my, I think I'm going to use my art glitter glue on this project because it's the cover. I want to make sure everything stays down really good. So we'll just start here and we'll start inking. I'm going to just ink the layers. Ink the layers and glue them down. That's all I'm going to do. Now you could take a photograph of your collage before you take it apart. But I record on my phone, so I can't do that. So I'm just going to do one at a time so you don't forget where things go. This book page is like super fragile. Oh my gosh. My sister called me. I was laughing. So my sister is so funny, you guys. She is my favorite person to spend time with because she makes me laugh, I swear. And I'm so happy that, like, it makes me so happy that at the ages that we are, okay, and I'm by no means old. I don't consider myself old, but I'm not young either. I just had my birthday. I turned 52. And my sister is 1.5 years older than me. And while I'm single and divorced, you know what? These little doilies have these little nubs on them. I'm going to cut those off because they're bugging me. You know, you get those nubs when you have like a die cut. So anyway, she called me the other day, and she's married. Like I said, I'm divorced, single and divorced, and she has a husband and her adult child that lives with her. And her husband likes to like bake desserts and stuff like that on his days off. And so, but he's really like inexperienced in the kitchen. And he had this recipe that he wanted to make that he found on the internet of these cupcakes. And it was like chocolate chip cookie dough in the bottom of the muffin pan. And obviously you use like cupcake liners. It was like chocolate chip cookie dough in the bottom. Then like a mini Reese's cup stuck in the middle. And then like brownie mix on top of that. And so she does their grocery shopping online. And so you know what? I think I need to refill my glue before we start here. So let me do that really quick. Woo! It's squeaky. Look at all that gunk. Ugh. Okay, now I need a wipe. Where are my wipes? Oh my gosh, my daughter was sewing on my table this weekend, and it's like, now I don't know where anything is. Where are my wipes? Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta get myself a paper towel. They're probably sitting right in front of my face and I just don't see them, but okay. This will save us some time in waiting for the glue to I'm brave for doing this on top of my project, huh? Oh my gosh. Oh, I moved it just in time. It came spilling over. Just as I said how brave I was being doing it like that. Oh my gosh. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh. What a doofus. I'm sorry about that, guys. Jeez. Get this lid on before I frickin' ruin everything. Gosh. Okay, now I'm a mess. And I really, really could use my wipes. And I don't see them anywhere. Wow. Sorry, I'm just like, I keep scanning my air. There they are, I see them. She must have needed them because they're by the sewing. They're by the sewing machine. Okay, let's get this glue up. And off me. All right, now we're ready to go. Sorry about that. Gosh, like catastrophe. Okay, so anyway, she ordered groceries and, oh, this is going to be a problem. I can feel it. My pen was like stuck in there. Okay. And she got him everything he needed to make these cupcakes that he wanted to make. And so he says, I'm going to go in there and make the cupcakes. And she said, okay. And she was just sitting. She likes to play video games. And so she was just sitting in the living room playing her video games. And she goes, Dana, I knew I was in trouble when he said, do we still have that food scale? And she goes, food scale? What do you need a food scale for? It's cupcakes. And he said, oh, well, this brownie mix is 18 ounces and I only need 10 ounces. And she said, so she tells him, just make the whole thing and use what you need. And just, you're going to have too much, but just use a spoon and spoon what you need into the liner, the cupcake liner. He says, okay, he's going to do that. And so he gets them made and gets them in the oven. And then he goes to check on them and he's asking her, and all this time she never got up out of her chair. She's playing her game. He said, how can you tell if these are done? And she says, well, stick a toothpick in them, you know, and she tells him how to tell if they're done. And I am getting glue everywhere. Why is that? Dana? And so she tells him, you know, how to tell how they're going to, if they're done, and they weren't done. And so she said, just put them back in the oven for a few minutes at a time. You know, just don't, you know, don't like set it for 20 minutes. Just set it for another like 3 to 5 minutes and check on them. And, oh, this is really cute. And so she said, Dana, those things were in our oven for like 40 minutes. And she said, I started to smell something burning. And so I told him to take them out of the oven. And so he did. And the next thing he said to her was, I don't understand how I'm supposed to get these things out of the pan. And she was like, what? And so she finally got up out of her chair and to see what the heck was going on with what he was doing. And okay, let me get this down and then I'll show it to you close up. Okay, so that's it without any embellishing. That looks cute, right? Really cute. Here's the journal that's going to go on top of. Really cute. Okay, on to the next. So she says she walked into the kitchen and she goes, oh my God, Dana. She said the top of the muffin pan, like you couldn't see any of the pan. Like it looked like like you had baked brownies. Like you couldn't even see the pan. And she was like, what did you do? And she looked over at the bowl that had the brownie mix that he made the brownie mix in, that she had told him to use a spoon to spoon out into the muffin tin, and she told him only fill them like 90% full. And she said the first thing I noticed was instead of a spoon in the bowl, there was a ladle. And it was empty. So he had used all of that brownie mix and he had ladled it into the muffin tins instead of using a spoon. She goes, and then on top of that, she goes, Dana, my kitchen looked like a bomb went off. Like there was stuff everywhere, everywhere. And she said that my biggest problem with that was, she said there was cooking oil, like vegetable oil that you put in the brownie mix, all over the counters in the kitchen, like all over. There was vegetable oil. And she was like, why? She said, why is there oil all over the counters? And he goes, oh, I thought I picked all that up. He had spilled the vegetable oil everywhere. It was just her telling this story. Oh my God, I was in stitches. Oh my gosh. It was so funny. She said finally she had to dig, the way it all ended up was she had to literally dig out each cupcake with a fork out of the muffin tin. And they had to put them in individual Ziploc bags in order, because they were just falling apart everywhere. And the whole thing started when before she called me to tell me about it, she had texted me. And she had put a photo in the text of something inside of a Ziploc bag. Like I couldn't even tell what it was. Like, what is this? And so she texted me the picture and she goes, Troy made cupcakes. Oh my gosh, it just cracked me up. She is so funny. And the way she tells a story is just priceless. She is so, I love her so much. She is such a light in my life. Oh, so that was the funny for the week. Crack me up. Okay, I'm going to try and use a little less glue than I did on the last one because I had glue everywhere. I don't care that this is slanted, just all gives it a nicer look. Okay, I had the doily on next. Oh, so my daughter had her endoscopy yesterday. Those of you who watched the video, my previous video about just kind of the medical stuff that my daughter's dealing with right now with her stomach and her chronic pain and all of that. And she had her endoscopy yesterday, and that was why I couldn't put a video up yesterday. And she did really well. And of course, the biggest fear, because we've been dealing with this for so long, and all of her test results so far have come back normal. Of course, the biggest fear is that they're not going to see anything. And, you know, which, how can that be? How can she be in so much pain after eating everything? It doesn't matter what she eats. It doesn't have to be spicy food. Doesn't have to be any of that. How can she be in so much pain if there's nothing wrong, you know? So anyway, so that was obviously the fear of having this procedure done, that it was going to be yet another normal test, but it wasn't. The doctor found lesions in her stomach, at the top of her stomach and at the bottom of her stomach. And so he took tissue samples to send to the lab to have them biopsied to find out what, you know, like, what are these, so that they can move forward with some kind of treatment. So that was good. I was really happy that they found something, you know, because like I said, everything has been normal so far. And boy, that has been a really trying thing, to know that your child is in so much pain and then having everything come back like, well, we don't see anything wrong, you know. Oh gosh, there's just nothing more frustrating. And so anyway, so that was super encouraging, that we might finally know what is going on with her and be able to do something to help her and heal whatever that is. And of course, I think that everybody's kind of thinking that all of the over-the-counter meds that she's been taking, the ibuprofen, the Excedrin, the Tylenol, you know, all that she's been taking for her chronic pain has, I'm thinking that's probably caused issues with her stomach, and quite possibly could have caused those lesions, because the doctor told her, the stomach doctor told her, because she's like, I can't not take ibuprofen, you know, I'm in too much pain from my other stuff that's wrong with me. And he said, don't take it on an empty stomach, you know, please just make sure that you take it with some food. And so she had been all this time, you know, not really paying attention to whether she was taking anything, whether she had eaten or anything like that. So I'm thinking that could have caused some of those lesions in her stomach. So we'll see. We have an appointment a week from Tuesday. His office was really great, and called me the very next morning and said, okay, we need to make you a follow-up appointment. And so so we see him a week from Tuesday. He'll have all of the results back from the biopsies and everything by then, and and have a plan of attack of how to go about getting her on the path to healing and recovery from all of this. And so that is super, super encouraging. After just months of normal test results, you know, you just end up so discouraged, because you know they're in pain, you know something's wrong, yet they can't find what is wrong. And so finally we're on a path of being able to know what is happening. So that is super exciting. Well, exciting might not be the word, but it's encouraging, and it's definitely, I know, makes me a whole lot happier, and I'm sure she's a lot happier too. So hi, Gray.
Hi.
Okay, so we'll get this down. This is so much easier than having to come up with 5 individual unique ideas. these corners real good there. I had this one kind of laying like this. Oop, I put too much glue on the top and bottom, but that's okay. I forgot those were gonna hang off. So we'll just make sure to wipe that off. There we go. Pretty. Okay. Gray? Yeah? You got my message right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, how did we have this? I want those little like berry things to show, so. And as I place things, I'm trying to make sure that all the different layers and elements are showing. So I think we'll put that like right there. I'm gonna leave this here so I know. Right about here. So I want those little berries to show. And we'll put this down. Making sure you can still see a book page and everything. Oh, that's really cute. Okay. All right, so that's number 3. Let's pull Fox Friend in here. So hope y'all are doing good, that you had a good end to your week and that you're enjoying your weekend, maybe getting some crafting in or spending time with your family and trying to get some crafting in. My daughter went out on a date. My oldest daughter has a boyfriend. She has not been too interested in dating, you know, at times in her life. Well, all times in her life. And she's almost to 30. And really, this is her first relationship. I mean, she's dated some and gone out on dates, but nobody ever has, like, struck her fancy that she would want to, like, be with them, like, in a relationship, you know? And so she met someone. And he's super nice, and he's just completely smitten with her. But, you know, as her mom, I think, who wouldn't be? She's pretty, and she's kind, and she's sweet, and, you know, she's really special. Okay. Did I ink the wrong side? No, I didn't. The shape seems weird. Let's just, okay, well, let's just use it this way. We're gonna go with it. I don't remember how I had that sitting up there before, but we're just gonna go with it. So he took her to brunch today. So she's gotten to go on all kinds of neat little dates with him and stuff. She really likes him. I've met him once. And, okay, we're gonna do this doily next. Let's cut off these little nubs. And it's just like, I think, oh, young love, you know. So neat that she's finally found somebody that she can experience that with. She's picky, that one. She's got high standards, which is good. I'm glad. Because I did not. And it led me into a world of pain. Emotionally, mentally. So, all right, let's get this on here. These doilies are so pretty, but they're such a pain to really get glued down the right way. Right here. Glue seeping out. Get our book page down. And I think what I'll do, because this was a little time consuming, is we'll take one of them and we'll finish one of them and embellish one. And then I'll finish the rest off camera and get them put on top of the journals and get the signatures sewn in. So next time we're together, we can actually start working on ephemera, thank goodness. Because there's a ton to do with 5 journals. So, okay, we can put this here. Oh, I see. I was going to put this piece right here. That's how I was going to do that. Okay. Let's give it a little ink. Thinking, and he can go right here. He's so cute. I love little foxes. Hi, honey. Okay, you can go right there. All right, now let's bring in our blue. I'll probably sew on this one. I'd like to sew around that squirrel. I'll probably glue it down and maybe zigzag right on that edge where there's more material. Okay. So my daughter that I've been telling you about with the health issues, my 16-year-old, and she hasn't been able to really go out of the house much because her neck and stuff just hurts so bad, and anytime we do anything, you know, her body just hurts, and she pays dearly for it. She's a lot like me, but she gets really depressed. She was really depressed the other night and was crying because she just feels like, you know, she never gets to go out of the house. She never gets to do anything. It's really depressing, you know? So when I was talking to my sister, you know, every once in a while, every probably couple months or something, I go and I spend like the weekend at my sister's. She lives in town in the Phoenix area, just like us, but Phoenix is so big that she's like an hour away from me. It's not close. And so we decided that I'm going to take my daughter with me and we're going to go spend some time. We're going to go spend next weekend over with her Aunt Janny. I think I was going to cut that down, but I really like how it kind of hangs off a little like that. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac here on this one. I just like how it's kind of haphazardly kind of on there. Just get enough glue on there to make sure that it stays. So pretty. Okay, well, I'm gonna need that probably for the book page. Anything that's gonna hit that fabric, I wanna use Fabri-Tac on. And what I may do too is take these to my sewing machine. I won't sew around them just because I've got so much going on around the borders. But I think there's little elements that would look good. Like I was just sitting here thinking about this one right here, and like to have a zigzag stitch just going right here on this side. Just would add a little element, you know, So I'm going to use Fabri-Tac on this because it's going to be sitting on top of that piece of fabric. I want to make sure it stays. I'm kind of covering up a lot of that brown, but you can still see it here and here. What you do see is still really pretty, so I don't have a problem with that. Just go with it. My bottle's getting a little bit low because I'll show you what I did with the signatures if there's time. If not, I'll show you the next time we're together. Put this here. And I am gonna, let's see if we can give this a little bit of ink. It's a little, it'd be a little hard to do that just because it's a flimsy piece of material, but I'm gonna just kind of set it against my fingers and just do what I can. Just to kind of darken it up a little. It's pretty stark white. Okay, that's a little bit better. Put him right up here. And then I am going to stitch around him because I think he needs it. Some kind of stitching. Put him off to the edge here. All right. Okay. All right, so that's that. So we have just all the basics down. Let me check our time. Oh yeah, that took a while. Okay, so with the rest of our time, I'm going to just pick one to like my fingers to fully decorate. So let's just grab the sunflower one. Spread these out so they can dry here. They're still a little bit wet. Okay, so I'm gonna just pull some things. I've got some fall washi tape here, and I've got some gems, and I think it doesn't need a whole lot more than that. So I'm gonna take my glue stick because I have a feeling this washi is gonna need it. So what I'm thinking is I need something kind of right here. And then I thought maybe some gems, a couple of gems here, and maybe one down in the corner. And I really think that's all this needs. Let me just kind of take off the end here. So I'm just gonna, yeah, that looks good. Just gonna run that across my glue stick to make sure that that stays. And that just adds something, a little something right there. All right, that it needed. And I also think we might need a sentiment. So let's look. I've got my Tim Holtz. Let me find them. And we'll use one of the black ones. And I'm thinking a sentiment right here. Let's find something fun. About great things take time. I'm just gonna run that across my glue stick. I'm gonna kind of line it up a little bit over the edge of the washi tape. Oh, that's cute. That needed, and we needed some words on there. Okay, and I got these in a freebie of something I ordered. I can't remember. I think it was some napkins or some doilies or something. And they were all kind of fall colored. So let's pull these out and see what we have. Okay, definitely want to use the green. I want to just kind of like that. And then maybe a small one down here in the corner. Do I want to use, just looking at all the colors we have here. I think a smaller one than that. That one's a little big. So I'm thinking that looks good. I don't know, maybe another little piece of washi right here. Where did I put that washi tape? There it is. Just like a little bit. Just feels bare to me right there. Yeah, there we go. Just needed a little bit of something. Okay, I'm gonna use Fabri-Tac to put these down. Okay. That. My Fabri-Tac is kind of seeping out the top here. It's bubbling out the top. There. And it's like a little volcano. And there. All right. So that's what we have. Let me show you up close. All right, so that's the finished one. And that is gonna go, I don't think I'm gonna do any sewing on this one. So that's gonna be the journal cover for this journal. This happens to be my sister's. It's gonna be her Christmas present. All right, so we'll put this aside. And then just to show you what we have so far up close, this is our fox one. We still have to embellish these. I'll do a little bit of sewing on them. This is, I really like this one. I didn't think I was gonna like the one I chose this for, but I do really like it. And then this one is another favorite for other sunflower journal. All right. I hope y'all have a great weekend, a great Saturday. And next time we're together, I'll have the journal covers completely with everything glued down onto the covers, the signatures sewn in, and we'll start on some ephemera. You guys have a great weekend. God bless and stay safe. Bye-bye.